Weeds can be defined as unwanted plants or plants growing out of place. Proper identification and some understanding of how and why weeds are present in a landscape are important when selecting the best control strategy. Knowing whether or not weeds were previously present in a particular area also helps prepare control measures in the future. I'm Dr. DeBusk, and this video will be on the biology of weeds. Healthy ornamental plants improve the attractiveness of landscapes. Landscapes infested with weeds are not attractive. How serious a problem weeds are depends on customers or other people's individual values. Ornamental plants and weeds have the same basic requirements: soil nutrients, water, space, and light. These are limited, so desirable plants and weeds are in competition for them. The three main types of weeds are grassy, broadleaf, and sedge. Grassy weeds have blades that are much longer than they are wide. The blades have parallel veins. The stems are hollow and round with nodes. The nodes are closed and hard. The leaf blades alternate on each side of the stem. Examples include crabgrass, goosegrass, crowfoot grass, sandspur, annual bluegrass, Kogan grass, and torpedo grass. Broadleaf weeds usually have net-like veins in their leaves. These veins are connected to a main vein. This vein usually divides the leaf in half. You can easily distinguish these weeds from grassy weeds as their veins and leaf shapes are different. Stems of broadleaf weeds are round and solid. Many broadleaf weeds have brightly colored showy flowers. Examples include wood sorrel, Florida parsley, henbit, dollarweed, matchweed, and creeping beggarweed. Sedges have triangular shaped solid stems, while rush stems are round and solid. Both sedges and rushes favor a moist habitat. Important members include yellow and purple nutsedge, and to some degree globe, Texas, annual, and water sedge, plus path and beak rush and perennial kalinga. Weeds can have one of three different life cycles: annual, biennial, or perennial. Knowing the life cycles of different weeds is important because it will help you manage weeds. For example, effective control methods for perennial and annual weeds differ. For warm season annuals that grow in the summer, do not apply herbicides late in the fall, as these weeds will die with the onset of cold weather. Also, you do not need to apply control measures to cool season annual weeds in the winter. They will die with the arrival of warm weather. Annual weeds germinate from seed. These weeds grow, flower, produce seed, and die in a year or less. Grasses, sedges, and broadleaf weeds can all be annuals. These weeds are grouped by the season in which they germinate and grow. Warm season or summer annuals germinate and emerge in the spring. They actively grow in the summer and early fall, and they die in the late fall or early winter. Examples include spotted spurge, crabgrass, chamber bitter, and common purslane. Cool season or winter annuals germinate and emerge in the fall. They actively grow during the winter and early spring and die in the late spring or early summer. Examples include common chickweed, annual bluegrass, and henbit. Biennial weeds have a 2-year life cycle. They germinate from seed in the summer or fall. During the first year, these weeds develop large root systems and a compact cluster of leaves close to the ground known as a rosette. In the second year, biennials flower, produce seed, and die. Examples include cudweed, oldfield toadflax, and Carolina false dandelion. Weeds that live more than 2 years are perennials. Many reproduce from rhizomes, other underground plant parts, and stolons. All of these are considered as vegetative reproductive structures of weeds that do not involve seed production. Many perennials also produce seed and can reproduce from these seeds. In the winter, some perennials are dormant. They lose their above-ground leaves or stems. In the spring, dormant perennials initiate growth from carbohydrate reserves stored in their roots. Florida betony is an example of a perennial that does not start growing in the spring. This weed emerges in the fall, grows during the winter, and enters dormancy during the summer. The shape of its tubers gives Florida betony the common name rattlesnake weed. Perennial weeds are the most difficult to control. This is because they reproduce by both seed and underground vegetative structures. The underground structures are difficult to control because they are much more resilient than seedlings. Examples include torpedo grass, purple and yellow nutsedges, and vines such as the greenbrier. Perennial weeds may also be grouped by the type of root system and how they reproduce. Simple perennials reproduce by seeds. Root fragments may also spread by mechanical means such as plowing and produce new plants. An example is Florida betony. Bulbous perennials reproduce by seed and bulbs above or below ground. Examples include yellow nutsedge, wild onions, and wild garlic. Creeping perennials produce both seeds and rhizomes and stolons. The rhizomes and stolons store carbohydrate reserves and can initiate new shoot and root growth at nodes along a stem. Examples include common Bermuda grass, torpedo grass, and purple nutsedge. You must properly identify weeds so you can choose the most effective control. You can get help identifying weeds at your University of Florida IFAS County Extension Office. The UF IFAS publication SP 499, Identification Guide to Common Florida Lawn and Ornamental Weeds, also has common weeds. Soils contain tons of plant seeds that are ready to grow when given the proper conditions. Many of these lie dormant, but as soon as there's a disturbance or void, seeds may germinate. How does the lawn and landscape get weeds? You may have brought in some soil or mulch that was contaminated with seeds. If your lawn is mowed and not blown off before it goes to the next property, the weed seeds from the first property can drop into the area. Weeds can be brought in from plants that are purchased or weed seeds in your grass seed. People and animals can also bring them in. Have you ever gotten stickers or grabbers on your socks and picked them off while still outside? The weeds can come in from the neighbors. If the neighbors are letting their lawn go a bit, those weed seeds, runners, or rhizomes can migrate over. In this video, hopefully you learned more about the types of weeds, their life cycles, and how weeds are dispersed. The next video will provide more details on managing weeds in landscapes.